Google wasn't done with just unveiling the new Pixel phones at its hardware event in New York today. It also unveiled a new tablet called the Pixel Slate, and I have it here. It is a 12.3-inch Chrome OS device, which comes with a companion keyboard that turns it into a detachable two-in-one that you can use for both multimedia consumption or getting some work done. This is the first Pixel tablet since the Pixel C, and that one ran Android, while this one runs a tweaked version of Chrome OS to make it work in both tablet only and connected to a peripheral mode. Obviously, this isn't the first Chrome OS tablet or even the first Chrome OS detachable in the market. We've got Acer and HP already making those, but it is the first from Google, and it's also the first sort of premium device. It feels really good, but we'll get more into that later. Many companies have tried to make the two-in-one convertible form factor work in the past. I'm thinking Samsung with its DeX, and we've got iPad and Surface devices as well. Seems like the core challenge in getting that to work, though, was finding a software UI that worked in both work and play modes. And perhaps Google is the company that is the best equipped to solve that problem. From my hands-on time with it so far, I think this might be the answer to that question. When you're using a two-in-one device like the Pixel Slate, you're using it in mostly one of two modes. In desktop mode, as you can see, it's a very familiar Chrome OS interface where you can have all your apps with the launcher on the bottom left, and then you have a notifications and settings panel on the bottom right with a systems indicator tray. This allows you to do things like open multiple windows at once, overlap them, and resize them however you want. A full, proper desktop operating system with all the apps that you're familiar with. The other mode is play, for when you remove the tablet from its mouse or keyboard and you're really using it for things like Netflixing or online shopping or gaming. So when we disconnect the Pixel Slate from the keyboard, you notice how fast, first of all, that was. It just lifted off from the keyboard case and went straight into this interface. First thing you notice, obviously, is that you have all of these app icons laid on the screen. It's not Android, but it is a version of Chrome OS that has been tweaked for touch friendliness. One thing that stands out, at least to me, is this row of suggested apps at the top. This is very similar to what you get on Android 9 Pie. It's basically what the system thinks that you're most likely to use next. So here there's Docs, Slides, Files Go. These will change over time depending again on what the AI thinks you might use next. They've also tweaked things like the settings or quick notifications panel at the bottom right here. This will look more familiar to Android users. There's also features borrowed from the digital well-being program that's now on Android 9 Pie. For example, do not disturb mode for notifications. There's also a nightlight feature that hints to your body that it's time to get ready to sleep. Another thing that Google did to make this tablet-friendly version of Chrome OS feel more touch usable anyway, is this tab dragging feature that lets you use your, again, finger and then drag a tab and then very easily convert it to split screen mode. This works with up to 2 windows at a time, and you can resize it however you want and devote as much of the page to your preferred app as possible. This also works with compatible Android apps. That's just some of the few changes to the tablet-friendly UI, but whenever you're ready to get some serious work done, snap it back in and look how quickly that just happened again. So you might feel like you want to draw something on it or take some notes, and you can do so. With a stylus, you can get the Pixelbook pen if you wish for an extra $99. And when you do, you don't have to unlock the tablet to do your scribbling. You can actually just tap on this icon on the top right to start drawing, even when the device is locked. This is the Pixelbook pen, so it's got good pressure sensitivity, a very fluid, responsive, and very good latency with little to no lag here, really. And now it comes in a new midnight blue color that color matches with the Pixel Slate. Since the Pixel Slate has a larger 12.3-inch screen than the Pixel C, it also has more room for a full-size keyboard. This means Google was able to bring back things that we missed on the Pixel C's keyboard, like an escape key and a proper trackpad. These are things that people miss, like why would you not have an escape key anyway? You need to get out of full-screen Netflix viewing mode, right? And having this large, roomy trackpad really helps reinforce the environment that this is, which is a multitasking-friendly desktop UI. The keys themselves are actual circles. They don't have corners, so according to Google, you won't have the chance of, hitting a corner by accident. Overall, apparently people reported more accurate typing experience. They're not the deepest keys, but they do have an adequate amount of travel that makes typing comfortable. One more thing. For people who find that they don't like noisy keyboards, this will probably suit your fancy. These are called hush keys, according to Google, and they're supposed to be quieter when you're typing, and they do feel a little more muted than other keyboard accessories that I've tried. I will say though, the spacebar still does have some noise to it. One other difference on this keyboard from others is that instead of where the familiar start button would be on the bottom left, you have a button dedicated to summoning the Google Assistant, which is now baked into the Chrome OS UI, and one of the ways of summoning the Assistant is this key. The keyboard case obviously doesn't just function as a keyboard, it will also provide a stand for the Pixel Slate. It's basically a magnetic prop that is basically adjustable to any angle you want. Google calls this infinitely adjustable, but basically you can move it to whichever precise angle you want to prop the Slate up at. It's pretty cool and really relatively sturdy. The magnet isn't as strong as the one on the Pixel C, but it's pretty rigid and doesn't give a lot of flex. So the thing I really like about this stand is that after you get used to it, it really doesn't take much at all to adjust it to any position you want, and it doesn't feel flimsy at all. Like I said before, this is a 12.3-inch display. It's also the screen with the highest pixel density in the product category, that is 12.3-inch premium 2-in-1. It's a very specific category, but a popular one nonetheless. During my testing, it was bright, it was colorful. We watched 8K HDR videos and they looked vibrant and sharp, which makes this a great device for multimedia consumption. And it's got dual front-facing speakers that were pretty loud during our testing as well. Sitting above the screen is a camera that Google is calling the Duo camera. It's designed specifically to be good for video conferencing, which is something that people do a lot of. It's an 8-megapixel sensor with low light enhancements, as well as a wide 190-degree field of view to get more people in the shot. And just in case you need it, there's an 8-megapixel shooter on the back as well. This is also the first Chrome OS tablet to have a fingerprint scanner. You can't see it because it's built into the power button and will wake the device with just a tap. It's very convenient, and during my testing again, it was fast and responsive. Overall, the device really was pretty speedy, and that's probably thanks to the Intel 8th generation Y series processor it's got in there. You can configure it with the amount of RAM and memory that you'd like. This processor allows it to remain relatively cool in spite of its thin, fanless design, and also allows for longer battery life, up to 10 hours, Google promises. But that's also in part due to the fact that this is running on a low-power LCD screen that uses less energy per pixel and therefore allows Google to pack more pixels into this display without requiring more power. Google isn't sharing exactly when the Pixel Slate will be available just yet, but when it does go on sale, this thing will cost $599 for the tablet alone. The keyboard will be a $200 extra. That's pretty hefty. You're paying $800 for a very thin and light 2-in-1. But again, from what we've seen so far, it might be worth it. It seems as if Google may have been the first company to really crack the code at a 2-in-1 machine.